Hey Kodiaks, it's Mrs. Andrade-Freitas, your principal. Just a quick introduction to our campus and talk about our masks. When we're inside buildings, masks are required, but when we're outside, we can go mask free. Welcome to our campus. Let me show you where you're going to enter. This is our drop-off zone for our parents. And if you are here early, there is a little bit of sitting room. We just ask you not to walk over and through our landscape. Our gates open at 8 a.m. in the morning for our students. This is where we enter our campus as Kodiaks. Here we have our 60s pod with it, which is our math class, and our office is right here. As we travel through Ustach campus, we will be following the roundabout fashion. And you've probably been in the car and gone through a roundabout. So I want to take you to an angle so you can see where our roundabout will be. Here I'm at the back side of the office, and we do have a sign that shares with us where we need to go. If you need to talk to registrar or Miss Luna, our discipline secretary, you're going to go to that side. And if you need to talk to attendance Mrs. Moreno, you're going to enter that door. But what I wanted you to be able to see right here is how we will be practicing our Kodiak roundabout. The center of our roundabout is our library, and we will be moving to our right as we're on campus. So as I move around our roundabout, you see the library, but here's our 40s pod. In our 40s pod, we have our English departments for our 7th and 8th graders. We continue to walk in that roundabout, which you get to see a cool clip at the end. And if you need to go to the 30s pod, you're just gonna veer off. 30s pod is our 7th grade science, but also the 30s restrooms are designated for our 6th grade students. We have our first of 2 pods for our 6th graders, and this is our 20s pod. In the center where we have our library building, we have a couple of classrooms and some great places that you need to know about. Room 103, which is our computer lab. And then we have our back office. If you need to go to our health secretary, you need to see the nurse, you need to talk to a counselor, you're going to enter there. One other thing I would like Kodiaks to understand is we do have some red lines that are painted on the ground, and these red lines will set some boundaries for us as we are out at break and lunch. We're going to continue on the roundabout, but I wanted to make sure that you saw our MPR. In our MPR, we have our cafeteria, we have our gym, and we have the band room. Hey, there's somebody else that you need to meet. I want to introduce you to our assistant principal, Mrs. Sousa.
Hello.
So we're giving them a tour of campus today, and we're going in our roundabout. So
Awesome.
Here's our quad area. This year, for breaks and lunches, students, you have the option to eat inside the cafeteria or outside in a break. But with that, we have a couple of guidelines. We want to make sure that everybody's being responsible and taking care of their own trash. Still moving through our Kodiak roundabout. Mrs. Sousa, did you want to tell them about the 90s?
Of course. In our 90s, you'll find our art class, you'll find your Mrs. Amescua nutrition. Thank you. And Mrs. Ganine, our science teacher. And we also will have our student store running this year, so they sell snacks. You can bring cash and purchase them, but we will be practicing our social distancing and definitely making sure that we're responsible with throwing our things away as we're outside, keeping our campus really clean.
The other part is I told 6th graders where you can use the restroom. 7th and 8th graders, you'll have access to the 90s restrooms. So earlier I said the 20s was our first 6th grade pod. Well, 80s is our second 6th grade pod. Quite a few teachers are in here, there's 6. But going back to the center behind the library, we have classroom 107. Still moving in our roundabout. We have our 70s. And Mrs. Sousa, help me out.
So 70s is going to be our science. So Mr. Zambo, Mrs. England, and then also back in the 70s, there's some portables back here. Mrs. Neff and Miss Materi are back here, so you can just head that way all the way down to the right. There's Mrs. England, as we're talking about it. Hello.
So now we're back to our 60s pod, and this is where we have majority of our math department is in our 60s pod. So back to the front of our campus. There are additional portables that you'll find in the back, which are our 200 classes, and we have some 300 classes as well. We just wanted to give you a quick overview of how you will be getting around here at Ustach, and for our new Kodiaks, kind of get the lay of the land.
And did you show them where they would go for their locker rooms?
Well, I didn't tell the 7th and 8th graders where we're going to go to the locker rooms. So, do you want to talk to us about the locker rooms?
Yes, welcome to the back of our campus. So you'll have your boys' locker room here, and this is where you would go and change for PE classes. So this is predominantly for 7th and 8th graders. And then on the other side, we have our girls' locker room. And then back here, we have our basketball courts, which you can utilize during our lunch time. During lunch, you'll be able to walk back here, and if you don't want to sit around, you can keep going and hanging out back here as well.
Well, earlier I mentioned the 200 portables, and they're right back here. So if you have a class with Mr. Moen or Mr. Stone, you'll head over here, and then we have some 300 portables that are right behind the 20s pod. There you go.